Dallas Cowboys on 3. Make it loud. 1, 2, 3. Dallas Cowboys.
Snap back to Prescott. He's going deep. Down the right side. Over the shoulder for Bryant. Perfect. All the way down and around the 25-yard line of the Eagles.
Get the right kind of guys here. High standards. Work their ass off every day. High accountability. Okay? And then it shows up on Sunday.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. He's taking another shot in the end zone. It does! Left side of the end zone. Touchdown, Dez Bryant. Looking lit out. Starts up the middle. Now he pulls it back. Now he peels around left. Now he throws it in the end zone. Jason Witten. Touchdown. Cowboys win.
You love them or you hate them, but you will tune in and turn in to see what people are saying about them. That's why they call America's team.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
I don't know. Do I hear myself?
What's going on?
What's going on, Silver&Blue Nation?
Welcome.
We're
Sunday.
back. Sunday, 3:30.
That's it.
I'm
Who
Big
are
Game
you?
James.
I'm JK.
That's Producer G.
Producer G.
He
Turn
cooks
that
it up
down.
over
That's
there.
all loud over there.
Is that me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Ooh.
So what's up, everybody? Silver&Blue Nation. Good to see everybody.
Man, we got some
Training
stuff
camp
to talk
is almost
about.
here, but
It's getting
I'm
close.
going to just jump in now because I know we got some things to talk about, but training camp is here. First of all, Mobb Deep is here. Rest in peace to Prodigy. I don't know if I remember to say this, but rest in peace to Prodigy. Anybody who listened to Mobb Deep, I was a Mobb Deep fan. Any of these new guys, Little Yachty and all these guys, I'm telling you, I'm a Mobb Deep. I'm Mobb Deep all day. So rest in peace to Prodigy. I just had to get that shout out to him. And I think he was a Cowboys fan because I always remember him mentioning them 92, 93 Cowboys.
Wow.
Just
Good
saying.
shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
All right, well, 56 days until kickoff. Like you said, we got camp coming up. Had some exciting news the other day for us. We hit 10,000 likes on our page. That's pretty impressive.
That's a clap.
That's golf clap. So, yeah, we are trying to climb higher and higher. Appreciate everybody's support on that.
Definitely appreciate it.
Couldn't do it without you.
Yes, and y'all gave me 1,000 likes too. Can I get a clap on that one, G?
You got 1,000?
Yeah, I got
Ooh,
1,000.
that's my boy. I'm up to like 35.
I think I got like 1,300. So I appreciate everybody,
man.
just liking our pages. Basically everybody for the support. We're just trying to keep the hottest, latest Cowboys videos, news, and then when we're bored, post Cowboys football games, old school, just to keep the Cowboy flavor until this starts, which the rookies report next week. I believe they're going to be on the 18th. It's going to be something new that the Cowboys are doing. I think it's the first time where they're going to have the rookies there first, and then the team reports to camp, I believe, on the 22nd, and they will be there till the 17th of August. We will hopefully have some footage for you. I've been talking to Dallas Cowboys scoutings. Shout-outs to Tyson out there. He's out there actually going to be out there in Cali. He's like the West Coast Cali guy out there. So he's going to be having exclusive footage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of the boys. We'll be able to see these guys really going. We won't have to worry about seeing them in shorts. We're going to see them in pads. We're going to see what these guys are really
Real
doing.
soon. We're going to get to see about a bunch of questions.
Huge
Gonna get
questions.
answered,
A lot of
man.
things
We got
need to be getting answered.
some battles, some position battles.
Big-time battles.
Just a lot of questions to be answered. So, Tony, what's up, man? Cowboys for life. That is correct. Quest for 6 is on the way. This is a good year to get that done.
Well,
I want it.
I think this is one of the best years to do it because of everything that's going on.
want it right now.
We're going to talk about, obviously, the Zeke situation. It's popped up in the news. Goodell, the NFL may possibly suspend him. Everybody is, well, from what we're hearing, is 1 to 2 games. To me, like I said, I just been quiet about it. I've been listening to seeing all the memes, talking all the trash about the Cowboys, saying this and that. I mean, to me, it's just bogus. I'm tired of Goodell doing this dumb stuff that he always does, trying to make up for what was wrong with Ray Rice and Greg Hardy.
Josh
We're
Brown.
out here, you know what I'm saying, in Columbus, Ohio.
Right.
We were out here, and we already seen up front what was going on. The prosecutor, the DA, went after this
charges
case.
have been dropped. There's no evidence.
The charges have been dropped. He had multiple witnesses saying that nothing happened, even when she said it.
Yep.
So if there's something going on out here, especially with the athlete, it doesn't matter if you're at Ohio State because it's big out here. If you slip up, they're going to get you.
Yep, it would have made the news. And this has been relatively quiet other than the fact that people keep bringing up the fact that the NFL still may suspend him 1 or 2 games for pretty much nothing. And so, like Marquis said, it is a witch hunt. But unfortunately, it reminds me of what happened with Ben Roethlisberger, many years ago. I can't remember how many exactly, but He had a similar incident, was acquitted on all the charges, but I think he might have actually had him brought a little bit closer at least. It didn't take 2 years, though. They suspended him for a game or two, and that was kind of the precedent of you broke our NFL code of conduct. You broke that policy, but it didn't take 2 years, a full year of investigating to figure out. I mean, make a decision. It's hanging over the team. It's hanging over Zeke. I mean, that's just more drama we don't need, and it's not anything he's doing right now. So.
And to me, if it takes a year for you to get facts, what year does it take for you to get that many facts? First of all, if the fact is that he's been acquitted, there's nothing even came with it. Like, you never even went to court. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
Like, it never even went to court. They didn't even pick up the case.
No charges pressed.
No. So you didn't even go to court for it. It'd be different if you maybe went to court for it and then they found you not guilty. You didn't even get the chance to even get to court for that incident.
They're just looking for a way to save face.
And it's like, but what are you trying to save face with if it's the charges were dropped?
I don't like you said, with all the past with Ray Rice and all this stuff coming up after the fact, and the Josh Brown, the kicker for the Giants, all that stuff coming up after the fact. They're trying to wait and just make sure that something doesn't happen, so they don't have more egg on their face because we missed this suspension, we missed this. Like, they're really. If he plays for anybody but the Cowboys, it might not even be an issue anymore. Honestly, I mean, it's just he's in the media. He's so prevalent right now. They want to make sure they don't get burned.
But you just said to me earlier, you told me that them doing this basically could set a precedent. Because if he gets suspended for 1 to 2 games and he has not been charged anything, it hasn't even went to get to court, and you're saying they're violating the league code of conduct.
It's a slippery slope,
How is it a league code of conduct? And so that's why I brought up to you where then Jordan Lewis, who is our 3rd-round pick, who has the DV case heading over his head. But they said, the Cowboys said, you know what, we're not worried about it. He's in the clear. But if Zeke gets suspended for this, why wouldn't Jordan Lewis get suspended even if he is cleared in his case? Why doesn't Jordan Lewis get suspended as well? So anybody can get suspended because anybody can say anything.
Right. Then you go to all these kids that are draft picks.
Right.
And you'll see, females, no offense to, any victims of crimes like this, but you'll see people that are accusing this for blackmail.
For money. Like,
hey, give me $500,000 or else I'm going to say that you did this, and then you'll fall in the draft. And you'll lose money anyway, so you better pay me.
You will fall in the draft.
So, I just don't want the precedent set of no charges and you can still get in trouble, because it's a very slippery slope, and these are people's careers, and heaven forbid something does happen, everybody should be punished properly.
Right.
But nothing has happened at this point.
And that's the only thing I'm saying. I've heard whispers of things. We all have maybe heard whispers of things, but unless it's some concrete evidence to me, unless it's concrete where it says this is in the book, this is what this person actually did, then I'm not listening to it. If this man turned over text message to you over 2 months ago, and I hope you come out, because when I'm listening to Adam Schefter, first of all, I'm not saying Adam Schefter is not a credible reporter, but he says things just like
he's right about as often as a weatherman.
You know what I'm saying? He said things about Dez Bryant with the Walmart. He has missed on incidents.
Right.
And when I'm listening to his report, I hear a lot of, like I said, I sent the tweet where it's a lot of couldas, or this may be, or this could happen. My thing is, if it's not really happening, why are we playing the game back and forth and trying to be a distraction to our team?
And we can sit here all day and say there's a good chance it's not going to happen, because the chance of it happening and not happening are just as good.
They're just the same.
So it's
so
easy
why are
for,
you reporting?
Well, because Schefter this is his off season too. He's got to get his name out there still. He's one of the very few reporters left on that network still, I would imagine. So,
All right, we got a phone call. We got Antoine Gist on the line. How's it going, Antoine?
Man, how y'all fellas doing, man? I just want to commend y'all on a great job y'all doing, Cowboy Nation.
Yes, Cowboy Nation on there with you, Antoine. All right, so, you heard what's happening. I want you to be in and out because, we got people calling behind you, but I appreciate you watching the show. I always see you on there, so I appreciate much love to you on our end. So what do you think about the Zeke case? What do you think do you think it's a witch hunt? That's just the question. Do you think it's a witch hunt?
I think it's a witch hunt because I've seen other announcers speaking on the matter. This been going on for a whole year. You don't have the police, the investigators don't have nothing concrete. So now the NFL taking it upon themselves to be the police now. And I'm not understanding. They're just dropping the ball on this.
I agree. I feel you on that. It's just like to me, it's like there's no point in you trying to save face. If the man is innocent of the charges, you don't have to try to put his name out there, because people don't understand. If you're saying domestic violence and that is over your head and you're basically saying you're suspending him for something, now that's a label that you get, and that's an unfair label if that never really happened, and that's just wrong.
And now we're at the point where he was in the back of a car with 2 females, and they took a picture, and it's, Zeke's in the back of a car with 2 females. I mean, and it makes news now because of stuff like that.
And it gives a label, and it's just not right if it's not true.
And I'm thinking, and I want y'all guys to comment on this. I don't think he helping his case as well as some of the, the things that he's been taking part of. And do you think that has a lot to do with it, and they just picking on him about it?
Well,
what y'all guys think?
I think it's just a situation where, he had that incident hanging over his head, before the draft and things of that nature. And then it didn't do him a favor by him having that incident with the other female with, pulling down her shirt. I just think, and now you see him laying low, I believe the Cowboys are talking to him like, look, you're one of the franchise cornerstones. You can't do that. We understand you're having fun, and I don't think he's going to curve who he is as a player. But he's just got to be smarter because, he plays for the Cowboys. Any tiny little thing that he does or Dak Prescott does, it's going to be in the paper. You just heard Dak Prescott say, you know what, we're going to win the NFC East. Now everybody's going to talk about it, and they're going to play it over and over and over and over and over. So if we lose any game, they're going to say, yep, Dak said we're going to win the East. So it's just they just want to latch on to anything. So it's just like you got to be smarter. I personally, guys can have fun. They're grown people. They make this money. They're allowed to go do what they want. But they just got to be smart in what they do because everybody's watching for people to mess up, and that's true.
Yep. Thanks for the call, Antoine. Appreciate it. Thanks for the question.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Y'all, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one. What's up, Angel? What's up, Tony? What's up, Greg? Katina? I saw Harold Martin. Saw Cowboy Martin there.
Yeah, Cowboy Martin. That's my
Asher
dog.
in there.
That's my dog.
Kenneth. I saw a troll.
Yeah,
but I think Katina already got him.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, the whole incident to me is if the man did it, like for real, then you pay the price.
Especially for something like that.
But if he didn't do it and there hasn't been any charges and it's been like this, I don't get it and I don't understand it. But you know what? At the end of the day, as I said before last week, this is where I want Jason Garrett. This is where I want the coaching staff to say, you know what? We got these little distractions. We got these haters out here because they haters. I don't care what people say. They haters on the Cowboys. People think y'all just crying. No, it's the truth.
Yeah, other undercover fans are haters, one of the two.
So they're haters of the Cowboys. So everybody just want to see us fall. So Jason Garrett, circle the wagons right now. Get these troops together. See the little distraction with the Damian Wilson, what we're going to talk about too. See the little distraction with the Zeke. See these other little distractions with the David Irvin with the PD. And get this
little
together.
Stuff like Dak saying,
you know what I'm saying?
Zeke should be spending his time better with Cherry. Little stuff like that.
And get this team right. So because I'm telling you, that's why I feel like we're going to be like 11-5 because I feel like we're going to go through a turbulent season. And there's nothing wrong with the turbulent season because that proves your mettle.
What's that do?
That makes
What's
you stronger.
That do, though? Gets you ready for what?
Gets you ready for the playoffs. Because last year we didn't have adversity. We didn't have adversity last year.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? We need that adversity. We're going to have it.
We had enough storylines.
We had storylines, but we didn't have. We went 13-3. We lost 2 games to the Giants.
And there was a couple games we talked about last year. It was like, man, it wouldn't be a bad one to lose now.
Exactly.
But if we lose, then the Romo talk.
Exactly.
So
we don't have to deal with Romo. So that's why it's okay.
It changes the whole. Yeah, you can lose a couple games now.
And he doesn't have to look behind his back because he has Kellen Moore. You get what I'm saying?
I know you saw the article the other day about Charles Haley talking about Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Reminded him of Joe Montana.
Yeah.
And I know that's a lot of early praise, but what he was saying
that's Charles Haley saying
and what he was saying in there made a lot of sense. It was stuff we've kind of said.
Right.
Where he's poised. He knows how to control the huddle.
Right.
He knows how to rally the troops. The troops respect him and want to follow him. I don't want to use the war analogy, but they get up and go behind him.
Right.
So I'm excited for Dak. I just hope all this stuff melts together, man.
Well, like I said, I think the
Hmm.
biggest thing I'm going to see is, as I said, I feel like we're going to go through a turbulent season, but not in a bad way. I feel like we will go through the fire. I feel like Dak needs adversity this year. Look, if you look at Dak's career already, right? Okay, he's had nothing but success.
Yeah.
He's had nothing but the great things. The ESPY, you just had the ESPY Awards. You had the Rookie of the Year. You led your team 13-3. You haven't had any adversity really yet. Understand?
Number
as far
14
as the
in the top 100 by the
14
players.
in the top 100 it's glory years. Eventually, somewhere
you're the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Eventually, there's somewhere where there's going to be some bumps. But I feel like just where Bruce Arians said it. Bruce Arians said it, that he's a winner. and that's where he's going to rise above it. But he will. He may have a little bit of bad game in the first quarter or maybe the second quarter, but I want that to happen.
You saw some of that last year,
yes,
and you saw him bounce back almost every time. For me, I just love his ability to I don't know, initiate game-winning drives or drives at the end of the half or end of the quarter. He always seems like he's proficient when he needs to be. Like you said, it's a winner. It's kind of like we were talking about in practice when, he's sitting out there just throwing footballs up. Dude likes to compete, and when he competes, he wants to win.
Right.
And they're competing every Sunday,
and
so I like that.
And he just has a winner aura around him. So you may statistically, he may not have that same type of year, but he will be a better quarterback at the end of the day. And we're going to be a better team. And like I said, to me, Jason Garrett, and we're going to talk a little bit about this a little bit later because Michael Lombardi, I know who Michael Lombardi is. He really ripped Jason Garrett here in a recent article, basically saying some of the things that we have said, where he's basically mediocre. He's had 6 years to be with the team, now going on 7. He only has 1 playoff win. He's only had 2 appearances, and he's mentioned these things where he's got to show because he doesn't think he's a big game coach. He thinks that he didn't have the Cowboys ready in that Packers game, and that
people can say that about Romo. They can say it about Garrett. It's fair.
What he's saying, like, you're a good regular season coach, but it's the playoffs that matter, and what have you done? And he really has ripped him, and he says some of the things that people have said about him. Oh, I see him as clapping and patting people on the back and smiling. But does he really manage the game as a coach? Because he gets so much freedom to Rob Marinelli, so much freedom to Scott Linehan. Does he really manage the game like he's supposed to as a coach? So to me, this is a big season for him. Maybe he might not be on the hot seat, JK.
No, we've talked about that.
He may not be on the hot seat, but to me, with all these distractions and all these little things that are going on, this is a season where I want to see him take us to that next level. This is where Jason Garrett has to show me he can take us to the next level because the time is now.
The seat's not hot, but lighter in hand, gas knob ready to be turned on. It's going to get there at the end of the year. So, I mean, dude hasn't impressed me. Garrett hasn't impressed me much. I do kind of feel like he's a hand clapper, but he's still the coach of my team.
Yeah,
I mean, I still.
And that's why
I'm not going to.
I'm not
root against him ever.
You know
what I mean? That's not what it is. So,
but I got to talk real.
Exactly, and that's
7 years now.
What it is.
You have to win. You have to win. And he also mentioned what we had talked about on the show numerous times. Michael Lombardi mentioned Sean Payton is waiting in the wings. I don't care what anybody's saying. Sean Payton is right there near that Cowboy because the New Orleans Saints weren't jumping out to get Sean Payton back.
No, I mean, they paid him.
They paid him,
but he still had all that whole
they had that
year
little
suspension.
They had a lot of things where they weren't just trying to give him money like that. So you could see a Sean Payton coming to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not saying I'm not trying to cause friction, but I'm not going to be mad if Sean Payton was the coach for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry.
I don't know why anybody would be. You have any update, Prescott, as far as the autograph thing? I mean, I know we talked about last week. He re-signed with him, and
it's blown over.
Everybody's done.
Like I said, they've already made their announcements. He's been out there doing signings already. Dak Prescott,
surprise! It was blown out of water because he plays quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So,
but I think whereas you might say Zeke, I'm not saying Zeke did anything wrong. Where you see Zeke is more a little playful, a little more out, a little wilder maybe than Dak. Where you say Dak, we talked about Dak saying, hey, maybe you should have did your photo shoot for this. But I think Dak really takes to heart the image of the Dallas Cowboys. I think he really wants to have a good, clean image. And
I think he understands.
He's kind of like, maybe, I'm not saying now because his career is very young, but maybe how you see like the LeBron Jameses and the Michael Jordan, even though they always try to stay in good line with the league because of the image. And I think he really takes the image to heart as far as the Dallas Cowboys go.
He knows he's under a microscope. And I think that's one of those things, like, especially with, you get those incidents pre-draft. It makes you realize some things. I think that was one of those things. You either learn from that mistake or you just keep going down that road. And I think he really learned from it, matured from it, and once again acquitted of all charges on everything. But it was still a mistake that was made, and he learned from it. And hopefully he's doing the same thing with this autograph thing. And everything is just practice for the future and all this. And I'm not worried about him at all. Dak's the one that doesn't worry me right now. Like, obviously he was a 4th rounder last year, and we're all over this kid like he's, the next greatest quarterback. I don't worry about him. It's more Zeke to me that worries me, with his partying. And like I said, I see him as more of like a Gronk type. He likes to party, and as long as it's in the off season, Hopefully it's in February after the Super Bowl. Go ahead and do what you want to do, man. But during the season, be there for your teammates and be respectful for that.
I think it will. I think, like I said, I think this is all blown over. Marcus Balderas, I don't know if I said it right, and I apologize if I didn't. He asked, how do we think our defense is going to stack up this year? But before I answer your questions, Marcus, I believe if you look a lot of the comments here, that they don't believe in Garrett as well. I think a lot of people don't believe in Garrett. No matter what people say, I think the reason why we stay behind him because he does coach for the Dallas Cowboys, and we don't want to go against our coach as a Cowboy
I wouldn't
Nation.
go against my quarterback. I wouldn't go against my coach.
I'm not going to go against my team. But the fact still remains, Jason Garrett has a lot to prove to me, and this year is a proving year for me. If he doesn't get us to the hump, like I told you before, if he doesn't get us to at least an NFC championship, man, I'm talking Sean Payton. I don't care what anybody says. Give him another chance. No, I'm not trying to give him another chance no more. Get Sean Payton. We can keep Ron Marinelli on Sean Payton. Maybe we might lose Scott Linehan, and he might try to get our coach, but you think Sean Payton is not going to get a great offensive coordinator and coach Dak Prescott good? You think Sean Payton is not going to get our team right now, take that trash? Yes, I do like Sean Payton. I'm not trying to push him, but I ain't going to lie. I like him. Sorry. I like him.
I like him too. I got stunned by a comment, but I'm not read here. What's up, Michael? What's up, Sieber? What's up,
what's the comment?
Earl? I think it was Greg. He said he can't throw away. Coach doesn't have a losing season. I'm pretty sure Garrett has at least one.
Garrett has
maybe
a
losing
season,
record,
and he's had 3
I wouldn't say we're throwing him away.
I'm not throwing him away. He has to prove it. That's what I said. If he proves it to me this year, I'm
good.
Some
playoff
wins. But I need to see proof. The proof is in the pudding. His first year, he got the job. He went 5-3. He got the job. But the next 3 years, we missed the playoffs. The next 3 years, he had the 12-4. That was good. But at the end of the day, when we had the injuries, he still had to right the ship. We still could have won those games. You have to look at those things. We went 13-3. We lost in the divisional round of the playoffs. Those things Those things have to be looked at as why we're not getting over the hump. And if the same thing happens this year, I'm not sitting there throwing the coach under the bus. It's maybe we need to change because we have the talent. We can't keep wasting the years. And that's what I'm always going to say about that.
Yep, I agree.
So
Michael Billingsley said Zeke knows after his rookie contract, Jerry's letting him go like Murray. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to –
I think Zeke will get 2 contracts with us.
I think so. I think he's going to get paid.
Because he's a better running back than Murray. Even though I like Murray because I like Murray. I still like Murray.
I do too, but he wanted paid – I like Zeke way more than I liked Murray at the time. Like I see more potential out of Zeke than I did Murray. Now, Murray's still doing great things in Tennessee, but that's – besides the point, we weren't going to overpay for him.
Yeah, we knew it.
You saw what happened when DeMarco Murray went to Philadelphia. Obviously, it was wrong scheme, wrong fit, and everything. But dude tanked. Everyone thought his career was over. You know what I mean? He's behind one of the top 5.
Top 5 after what? Top 10 in the top 100. He was like a top 5 2014.
Right, and now you put him back behind another top 5, top 3 offensive line, and put him in a better running scheme. And you see, he's still
effective back.
So.
But is he special like Zeke?
Special? No,
I'm sorry. He's not special.
I didn't see him blocking as well as. I mean, I'm sure
he
did, but not as well as a rookie.
Right.
And there's the biggest thing we can say right here. Michael Nelson just said it. Murray fumbled in crunch time. Playoff game
more than a few times.
Playoff game against the Packers. Dez caught it game. You remember what happened?
Yeah,
you remember what happened before that, leading up to it?
I remember the strip.
Julius Peppers.
I remember Julius Peppers on the strip.
And DeMarco was wide open. He's probably going to score.
I don't know if he's going to score.
But even if he doesn't score.
Clinton Ha-Ha Dix had that angle on him.
But that doesn't matter. I think we were still up at that point.
Yeah, we were.
And all we had to do, we were going to run the clock out and then potentially score.
That could have potentially sealed the game right there with that play.
It was for me, that was changer. There wasn't much. I have to go back and look exactly how much time was left, but that was huge. That was huge. And he had a penchant to do that.
We were on the move again to really try to put the game away.
There was nobody else near him. And you got to give credit to Julius Peppers on that play because it was, a heck of a play by an athlete, in a big stage. But, man, that one hurt. That one hurt bad. That was come on, DeMarco. Hold on the ball.
Well, like I said, with Jason Garrett, I'm going to say about this. I'm not throwing my coach under the bus. I'm not saying, but you got to show and prove, and I don't care what anybody says. You got to show and prove in this league, and it's all good. Michael. It's all good that you have. We were fighting for the last game of the season. We were almost there for the playoffs. Almost don't count in the NFL. And as I said before, these guys have contracts. This is football. This is not basketball. This is not baseball where they can play until they're 40, 45 years old and still play at a high level. That doesn't take the wear and tear on them like it does in the NFL. You don't have that long in football years to do what you need to do. So when you get these players that are playing at their prime and you have a team like you have now, you can't keep losing.
So like we've talked about this window. We've talked about it being a large window. Do you see it being longer or shorter with the coach?
I hope it's shorter with the coach, because if the coach can't get us somewhere this year, then it doesn't need to be another 3 years to figure out what Jason Garrett is. We know what he is now. He's a guy that's an okay coach, and he has the right philosophy. Maybe he's better as a coordinator if he doesn't get us over the hump. But if you can't get us over the hump with the talent that we have, then you're not the right coach for the job. You got to get somebody who can get the job done. That's just my opinion on it, man. You got to get the job done. We're in the business of getting Super Bowls. We have 5 championships, man. We've been to 8 Super Bowls. We are known since the 60s, the 70s, even the half of the 80s, the 90s, 2000. We're not bums. We don't lose every year. So we have the talent. Let's get the Super Bowl, man. That's what we're here for. That's what the Cowboys are about. Super Bowls. Not getting just to the playoffs or just making it out to the playoffs every year. We are to get Super Bowls. And it's our time now.
It's time. I want that 6.
And
man.
so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Let's go to the phone line. We got Michael Nelson on the line. What's up, Michael?
Hey, what's going on, family? What y'all got going today?
You know what we got done. We talking that Cowboys football, big dog.
I called in because I saw the ESPYs. I don't know if y'all watched it this past week.
Yeah, I watched
it. It pissed me off. It pissed me off that they had gave, I think it was the play of the year, which was the play. I think they gave the Packers the game-winning touchdown that they had, or that catch on the sideline. And nobody acknowledges the hold on that play to allow that play to happen. Every year we play them, they cheat us. I just want y'all. I don't know if y'all saw it, but there was a hold.
Yeah, I mean,
they allowed him to make that pass.
But you know what, Michael? I look at it like it's the ESPYs. I don't really pay no attention to that. That's just like the Grammys. I don't be watching none of that stuff, man, because it's just another award to these guys. My thing with this is I feel like with
Corby J
with Dak saying, I just feel like they're going to really blow it up saying we're the Cowboys, we're going to win the NFC East. I just feel like now they're going to pick at that. Every time we lose a game or we play bad, remember when Dak says we're the Cowboys winning? They just use every little thing against us, man. All I'm talking about is winning these games. Let me ask you this, Michael, before we let you go. What do you think about the Zeke thing? Do you think it's a witch hunt, man? I mean, tell the truth. I mean, tell me what you really feel, man.
About him getting in trouble?
Yeah.
I feel like they're just looking for any little thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the things that he does is completely dumb. Like, I don't understand why. If you get paid millions, all you got to do is tell me to do, you know what I'm saying? I'll be on a straight and narrow. But, again, he does need to grow up. But I look at it like this. I'm a young man, but I know he's way younger than me. He's younger than my little brother. So, for me personally, I see that he's still, he's still a child in the mind.
And he's a millionaire.
And so,
and he's a millionaire.
He's a millionaire. So just think about it. Thinking about you coming out of college a year or two out of college, and then you got millions and millions of dollars. Like you.
It's a good thing. Good thing I wasn't an elite athlete. I promise.
I'm gonna keep it real. I feel everything you're saying, Michael. Like I feel it 100. Like JK said, I'm glad I didn't go in the league. I mean, I played some ball and things of that nature. I'm glad I didn't go because I'd be bad. I'd probably be in the news too, acting up crazy.
Y'all might not have never heard of Ryan Leaf. It might have been me. You never know.
At the end of the day, like Zeke's got to understand. Just like when you have Michael Irvin when he had his little troubles, and it's always kind of followed us. My thing is just keep your mind together and worry about these championships. That's the only thing I'm worried about right now is championships.
You got 17 weeks where I need you focused.
I don't think that Jerry's gonna let him go anytime unless he did something like traumatic.
He ain't going nowhere, man. Randy Gregory is still on the. You feel me? Randy Gregory is still on the roster. So if Randy Gregory is still on the roster after 3 years of being in trouble, you think Zeke is getting let go? Hell no.
Especially with all the production he's gonna give us. They don't care. They probably want it. Look, I understand that, we're the Cowboys, and I understand that, we've always had trouble. I ain't trying to take up too much time, but we got to understand that Cowboys fans, we got to know that Gary's going to look out no matter what the situation is.
Yeah.
Whenever you putting up numbers and stuff like that, and you bringing him a lot of money, you see how they marketing him, and that, they're not going to let him go anytime soon. They ain't going to probably let him go for about, 10 years. So, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know about 10 years.
That's the window. That's the window.
I don't know about 10, but I might give him
about oozles of time in that window.
I might give him maybe 8 because running back life, we're gonna run him hard. That's 8 years of
But you gotta look at the line, though. Look at the line. We got a line for another at least like 6 years, I like to believe.
Everybody's questioning. I'm just.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But hey, I appreciate you calling, Big Michael. Keep tuning in to the show, big dog.
Yes, sir. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Corby J, my dog is in the house. Corby.
They're saying, "Where's Trey? Where is Trey?"
Hey, Trey is SWAT, bruh. Trey had a picture. I don't know if he get mad because don't get me, Trey.
Get him.
He had the gear like the SWAT gear. He had the big guns and like grenades and the goggles and I'm like I know him. So if you act up with me, guess who's coming after you?
He got back.
I got back. I got SWAT on your team. Man, I got SWAT on your back. So you better watch out. So Big Trey, big shout out to you, dog. If I'm in trouble, I'm gonna holler at you because
So, speaking of SWAT, you need Damian Wilson update other than him being dumb?
Damian Wilson update. Basically, now I don't know if it's true.
He kind of said
his lawyer saying that he's innocent on charges. Of course, I'm sure he's going to say that. What else is he not going to say? But we talked about how last week how it was in the air. We don't know. He backed up. We don't know if he
works
pulled.
with him too, so we got two. We got
two of them. Two of them. Y'all ain't messing with me, man. Y'all in trouble. Y'all ain't messing with me. I got back, man. I got guns. Let me stop. But anyway, the thing now it's basically said he's got road rage.
That's what he said that himself.
He said that himself. He basically, the guy.
It was like exactly what we said. Well, he backed out, tried to get squad. They were holding it.
They were holding.
He flashed an AR-15. That was an AR-15.
AR-15, man.
Just in case we're going deer hunting.
AR-15, man. And it's just kind of like with Damian Wilson in my head. I'm like, this is the second year in a row you got in the paintball incident where you were right there. Everybody was like, yes, Damian Wilson's ready to take the next step. And then he has the paintball incident. He falls behind it. He comes back in the middle of the season, I told you, he ended with like 34 tackles, 5 games. Was looking good, had a game-high 8 tackles in that Philly game. Even though it didn't really matter, I just was looking at what he was doing. So this is the second year now where we have you. All the coaches are saying you're looking good. As a matter of fact, I had a Turner West, the linebackers coach with the Cowboys, basically was like, Damian Wilson's ready to take off. Damian Wilson's ready to do this. Damian Wilson's ready to do that. And then you have this. So it's kind of like, where is your mind at, Damian Wilson? Because this is 2 years in a row that right before training camp, this could be a pattern. It's the second year in a row right before training camp or right in training camp where you're making head and then you do something silly. That's something I have to look at mentally. Are you mentally capable of us trusting you because you're playing on the defense? We need you to make plays and not make silly plays. So that tells me if you're doing undisciplined things on the outside when we're playing in the field, you might make mistakes that might cost us in the game because you're undisciplined. That's what I look at with Damian Wilson.
What's up, Dino? We talked about the Zeke thing a little bit earlier, man. It's just a bunch of drama.
Yeah, man.
I'll go the opposite of Shefty, and I'll say there's a good chance he doesn't get suspended, and see if I can get that to scroll across EBSN and ESPN.
Right.
I mean, it's Cowboys, man. They got to talk about it. Why wouldn't they? I mean, it's just a witch hunt. It's ridiculous because it's been a year and there's nothing. I don't know.
I'm just waiting to see it, and it brings us to a question what we were talking about with Alfred Morris last week. I believe we were talking about
who'd be the starter if Zeke suspended.
Because I told you I was staunchly against Alfred Morris starting on Derek McFadden because Derek McFadden offers more than Alfred Morris. But let's say Zeke does get suspended for the 1 to 2 games that they're talking what possibly could happen. If it's a 2-game situation, then I would say I would switch and have Morris be the starter because Morris to me is a guy who needs early carries. He's a guy who needs to start the game and not finish a game. He's not a finishing type back to me where I can see McFadden coming in and spelling him, passing, catching, blocking, and he can spell him and finish games. I think Morris can get 20 carries, but I don't know if Morris is going to get 120 yards.
Kind of keep McFadden in the same role. Like I said, I see Morris playing some third and short. I see McFadden being more the third and long, catching pass out of the backfield.
So are you starting off for Morris too?
I would probably. I mean, I kind of talked talked myself into it last week just because of the way we talked about his running style, how he needs carries. He needs carries to get going in momentum. I would almost want to see him, like you said, start, gain a little bit of that momentum, bring McFadden in, and then you still got Morris smashing you in the mouth in the third, fourth quarter, and McFadden coming in with that speed. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean McFadden is definitely the faster.
And Morris is proven, so it's not like Morris is not a proven back. He's a veteran, and he brings leadership. My only concern was with Morris was this, the burst. He never had burst when he was in college. He didn't have it. That's why he fell so far in the draft, because he wasn't a fast back. He was more like a big back. So, yes, we have the offensive line, okay? But the reason why Zeke is good is because he's special. He has got a lot of yards, over 1,000 yards after contact because of what he did. Right. Not just what the line did, what he did. So that's saying that he had to do a lot of it on his own. Morris is a straight line running back. He doesn't have that wiggle that even McFadden has.
He wears you down and then hits a 10 or 15 yarder on you. It takes a while.
But let's say we're playing a team like the Giants. Do you think Morris, the way the Giants match up with us on their defensive line, does he run for a lot of yards? I don't see that.
I see him running for 2 yards into the line. That's about
it. He's getting stuffed.
Yeah, and I agree.
And if it's a third and one,
Mitch Daniels said he's a capable back. I agree. But
if it's third and one, he's getting stuffed, I think.
Yeah, against the Giants, maybe, but not. I mean, you saw it against the Redskins.
We're playing the Broncos. Yeah, they got a great defense.
All right.
Their offense is terrible. I mean, they don't where they at quarterback, but we're playing against two really good defenses. Okay,
right.
The Giants match up to me better than any team. That's why they give us the most problems, because their defense matches up with our offense. Their defensive line matches up with our offensive line. So if Alfred Morris, it was tough enough for Zeke to get yards. He got yards, but it was because Zeke was getting those yards. He was making special plays. He was making yards outside.
Right. If Zeke averages 5.5 yards a carry, Morris is going to get you probably like 3.5 to 4.
I don't even know if he's getting 4.
He's not getting the 5 yards. Zeke gets those extra couple yards.
If we're playing other teams, yes, I probably love to start Morris, but now I just have a concern if we're starting Morris because he needs carries. Okay, he needs to get rolling, but we're going against a tough Giants defense. That's just going to be a really tough game. We are going to miss Zeke. McFadden had a good game against the Giants when he played 2015. He had a good game.
He's still got wheels on him. I don't doubt either one of their capabilities. It's a tough call because there's going to be situations where it's just not necessary for Alfred Morris to be in there, I don't think.
Right.
You know what I mean? What's up, Trey? Welcome to the party.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Silver and Blue Nation YouTube channel.
Over there on YouTube. Got a bunch of stuff on there. Cowboys at the Creole.
I do apologize about that, but gee, you're so good with explaining that. I like when you do it.
He says it.
He's got the voice for it.
He's got it down.
He's got the voice for it, man. Say it again, Jay.
Just don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Silver and Blue Nation. I'm going to put the link down in the comment box for everybody watching. And
you can get on Facebook.
And we got the 6:30 show tonight on EB Sports Network. Don't forget to check that out. We'll have Anthony Schlegel, special guest in studio.
Anthony Schlegel.
Former NFL linebacker and assistant strength and conditioning coach with Ohio State. He got to work with Zeke while he was here, which is actually right down the street
knowledge
from
there
we're
a little bit.
So look
Hall
forward
of Fame
to that
game
tonight.
stuff's coming up.
Yep. Hey. And then we also had someone who wanted to sponsor with us last week. You got that read
over
there?
Yeah. I got him.
You guys down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Dallas-Fort Worth area. The best doggone concrete service in Texas is Don Smith's Concrete. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you holler at Don. Make sure you
Don Smith. Are you hearing this? Not Ron Smith. Don Smith.
Check out Don Smith Concrete. Don Smith Concrete has scored a whopping 109 by Build Zone in a recent poll over 222,000 Texas contractors, putting Don Smith Concrete in the top 95%. So if you need to get the best concrete, you need to holler at Don Smith, and you can find them at donsmithconcrete.com.
Oh, got a patio needs redone, or a front porch, back porch, anything.
Hey,
driveway cracked.
He's the best concrete contractor in Texas.
I mean, you've seen the numbers.
Get him. I mean, he's a Cowboys
and
he's a Cowboys fan.
He's a Cowboys fan, so you expect nothing less but stars.
He may or may not be lurking in the comments somewhere.
So Don Smith Concrete, make a holler.
Check him out.
Let me ask a couple people ask a few things. I'm sorry. Angel, my bad, because Angel, he got that good knowledge. He asked, does he think our 3 old linemen have reached their ceiling? I'm gonna have to give you a hell no. The only reason why is because I don't know if you checked, Angel, but on my page I post that video where you seen Travis Frederick going out for passes and Zach Martin was throwing the ball and then they would alternate. Yeah. Did you see the feet? I mean, did you see those guys for linemen are doing great patterns, and to me, that tells me that they're always getting better. And to me, Travis Frederick is a decent athlete. He may not be that super athlete, but he's decent. And Zach Martin, I think Zach Martin is athletic. I
do too. I think.
And Tyron Smith, what?
He's a freak.
Lyle
Collins.
I think they're only going to get better each year they play together, and they, to me, are what an offensive line should be. You always see those great offensive lines, the Hogs. You've seen Baltimore Ravens have good offense. I mean, you've seen so many teams that have really good offensive line. They hang together, they gel together, they kick it together, and that's why I believe whoever becomes that left guard, it is a battle that we are going to be looking at. You got Chaz Green, you got Jonathan Cooper, you got Cleary, you got Looney. Who's going to take over that spot? So when they get that in that spot, we know Leo Collins is in that right tackle. Well-oiled machine. We're running through teams.
Running through them.
So do you like Chaz Green there at left guard? He's played right tackle, but it seems like they really high on him at that left guard. Does he really make the transition and beat out like a Jonathan Cooper?
I think Cooper or Bell probably beats him out, honestly.
But they were saying Bell might not make the team.
Well, then there you go. Is Chaz Green going to make the team?
Yeah, Chaz Green is definitely making the team. Chaz Green is making the team.
He was, 2 years ago drafted him?
Yeah, he's third rounder.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, the only reason why Chaz Green hasn't really stepped up to me is the injuries. But if they're switching him to left guard, then obviously he has the ability. Because, we've seen Leo Collins. He was a tackle more in college, and they switched him to guard, and he didn't have any problems. So it shouldn't be a problem from him transitioning from a tackle to a guard. And we said it before. We talked about your boy Robert Gallery. He was an all-world tackle, got into the league, was a bust. They moved him to guard. He actually had a good career.
Yep.
So that's something that can happen.
It works. Do we get to any of this Q&A stuff down here?
Oh, let's jump into it.
You want to jump into some of that?
Let's jump into the Q&A.
We got to get it in.
All right.
Get it in.
So, tell me, what's the first question?
Well, we kind of did.
We did the
first
thing.
one. That was the Zeke thing. So, we'll take some phone calls on this too, maybe a little bit. Is that cool with you, G?
Yeah,
see if you guys have an opinion.
We're just going to go through some Q&A to you folks. What's up, Big Trey? I gave you big shout-outs. I appreciate you. Make sure you got my back. I don't get in trouble.
Anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But I know y'all got my back, so I appreciate y'all.
So, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think is going to be the offensive breakout player in 2017?
Well, let me answer Trey's question right quick.
Okay.
So he asked, do we think the season is down the drain with all the suspensions? No, I feel like this is, to me, I'm excited. I woke up this morning just feeling good because I felt like this is our time to really shut everybody up. Everybody's like, yeah, y'all going in the tank now. Your season going to be nothing now. Everybody, all the namesayers talking trash. They're hating on us. They're all saying we're going to fall. Once I said before, Trey, this is the year for Jason Garrett to me. I don't care what anybody else, I don't care what any of y'all saying. Let me tell y'all, I don't care what any of else thinking. This is the year with Jason Garrett for me. If Jason Garrett doesn't show me something this year, then I don't think he's the coach for the Cowboys, and I think we need to go after Sean Payton or somebody else who can get us over the hump, because you're not going to keep wasting this talent with all these good players if you can't make that next year. I don't want to keep seeing the clapping. I want to see them tough wins, them tough games, and I want to see you go to the playoffs, whether it's home or away, and have that team ready to play football and run through these teams like we're supposed to, JK. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, we got Angel on the line. What's up, Angel?
Hey, I just want to ask a little further about my O-line question.
Okay.
And I agree with JK, man. I think, they have no ceiling. I just kind of put that out there because since these guys have been coming along playing, we've seen the team get better as they've come of age. Of course, 30 years old is when you kind of hit that O-line prime, and these guys are still approaching their late 20s, but, still haven't hit that 30-year-old mark. So I was just wondering about that O-line play, just getting over the hump against the Giants' defense, kind of like those run defenses like that, the Giants, the Vikings, who we played last year, and how much will it just kind of alleviate just these things that are the questions, whether it's the suspensions, whether they, kind of play us with Zeke and give him 2 games. I'm just thinking of just the O-line's ascension and those 3 guys, and then you have Lyle Collins also as well another year. And how much of that is that going to just help the overall team? And I'll just hang up and listen to you guys.
All right, Bob. All right, big dog. I love Angel.
Thanks for the call, Angel.
He got that moxie.
He does.
Angel got that moxie. Well, to me, with the offensive line is this. I understand exactly what Angel is saying because there's certain teams that like give us problems, like on the defensive line, where the Giants may give us some problems. I think if Zeke gets suspended, this is really the time for the offensive line because they're really going to look at what the offensive line is going. If they're going to, we got to get over this hump with the Giants, like for real.
It's crazy how everybody praised the offensive line when we had, Doug Free and Ron Leary, and we went 4-12.
Right.
Then we had one of the best offensive lines, and then we couldn't get a win. Now we have one of the best records, and we have the 7th, 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It just doesn't make sense. Like, that whole rating thing's a little whack to me.
I do look at the numbers and I do look at the statistics, but I just believe it's almost kind of like anytime they say Dallas is doing good, anything, we get super. Everybody just starts watching any little thing that we do, any little thing we do wrong. So they saying we got the best offensive line in football. We have a bad game. Oh, the offensive line ain't that good. It's just like it's kind of getting old. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't even want to hear them saying that we have the best offensive line in football anymore. Honestly, I want them to say we have the 5th, 6th, 7th. I want them to say that. You know why? Right. Just stop talking about us. Stop talking about our offensive line.
Just forget about us for a minute.
Forget about us a minute and just let us do work. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I want them to stop talking about us being the best at something because usually when that always happens with us, something always happens. Not to the good. Just stop talking about us. Let Philly have. Let Philly fans. Let the Oakland Raider fans. Let all you fans feel like you have the best offensive line of football. I don't care because at the end of the day, when we're getting those 150, 170-yard rushing games on you teams and we're beating you, that's all I care about. But to me, that game, I don't care. That game one, that's a tone setter. That's
56 days away.
If you sit there and say, I don't know if I'm saying this is a must-win game. But it's almost a must-win game for the psyche.
It's going to be one of the biggest Week 1 games I can remember recently.
The Giants, like we said, the Giants are ready. We are ready. This is a huge game.
Can you imagine all the naysayers if we end up not finding a way to win Week 1? You imagine
it's coming.
I mean,
if we lose to the Giants Week 1, it's coming.
You don't think Dak knows that? You don't think the offensive line knows? These guys are going to be up and ready to play this game. They're not losing a third time to the Giants.
We bet
it's not happening. They're not losing a third time in a row.
No,
they're going to be there at Week 1. It's going to be a playoff game mentality, and it should be.
This is a playoff.
That's where it should start.
This is like already a playoff atmosphere. That's why they scheduled the Giants with us.
And if it's not,
that's why they scheduled the Giants with us.
I mean, you start looking at the coaching staff. We can't win games like this.
Exactly. So if you're not up for this game and win this game, then something is wrong. You know what I mean? And that's when those questions are going to keep dogging Jason Garrett, and they're going to keep following him no matter what he says until we have to win those big games.
I agree.
So it's something that needs to always stay talked about. So back to what we're talking about.
So offensive breakout player. I've seen a few people. I've seen
Bryce Butler.
Daniel Salinas said the bees, the hot sauce.
Philip
Dunn said Lyle Collins.
He's already kind of broke out to me. He had 75 catches.
Me too.
Unless you get 90, you're not getting 90 catches this year. I don't see it unless there's a major injury.
Yeah, I think Bees is there, but I mean he can still break out even more.
Who do you think?
I think it has to be my guy.
You going with Leo?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, it's going to be Switz, but I think it's going to be Lyle Collins. I think he's going to be just okay. I'm here, and I'll save that for even. I got something else a little more farther down there on him, but that's my guy. Lyle Collins, breakout offensive player of the year 2017.
It's kind of to me default with Ryan Switzer because we really don't have we have an established veteran team now almost. Even though they're still in young years, they grew up with the Cowboys. So I can't say Des Bryant's going to break out. He's done did it. I can't say Jason Witten. I can't say Zeke unless he gets a 2,000-yard season or a Dak Prescott. I can't say any of those guys. I can't say a Terrence Witten because I don't believe he's a breakout type guy to me. The only person I could probably say I want to see break out, I would like to see Bryce Butler.
He's got
break
potential.
Out. I would like to see him break out. We showed the video when he gets in a little mojo. He gets a few catches. He really gets in the game. He looks fit. He looks trim this year. He has the great size. He just has to put it together. So I would like to see a breakout season with Bryce Butler because if he can do those type of things, it makes our offense even more deadly and scarier because now you don't know what's going on. And I think he's better of a better straight line speed runner than a Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams is that possession receiver that maybe get those big catches, the toe drag swags, or the guy, the third down and sevens. Terrence Williams is doing this for you.
Yep, it's
big plays.
They recently just said we're the richest franchise in sports, right? It's just the rich keep getting richer. The receiver depth we have right now is incredible. I think that's like one of the strengths of our team, right? And people are doubting it. I think after the draft,
they're down everybody.
It's one of our strengths, I believe. So
what are a lot of people saying out here? Collins,
Switzer, and Collins. I mean, Dez. Angel said Dez because I agree with that too. People are doubting him. The stuff they said about Jenkins.
I'm tired of the disrespect.
I would love to see Dez go out there and just absolutely kill it.
I hope he just mauls Janoris Jenkins. I hope he. No. But I know Dez. Look. Have you seen Dez's pictures? That dude is ready.
He's ready.
He is ready. Like the dude when he's really in that zone, he's working out because Dez has always been a physical. That's what his game is, physicality. Right. So I don't care what Janoris Jenkins is
I don't care what he's doing as long as he's out there running routes. Just running routes.
I believe
that's all he
is. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like even if he's not doing these crazy routes, I still don't feel Janoris Jenkins can guard Dez Bryant one-on-one. If Dak Prescott is trying to get him the ball, you're not stopping him, Janoris Jenkins.
And
you're too little. I don't care what technique you have. You are little.
Big.
You are too little. And they throw that 50-50 ball up top. You're not getting that. I don't care what he says.
Who's your defense? Defensive breakout player, 2017.
I told you, Malik Collins.
Malik for you?
I'm on the Malik Collins wagon. I mean, I've been on his train since he was at Nebraska, and I want him to see a Pro Bowl with him. And I said Pro Bowl with him this year and top 100 next year because to me he's a top 100 player. When I see Gerald McCoy and I see those type players, Geno Atkins, I can see a Malik Collins doing that this year. I've said 8 to 10 sacks. I know Malik Collins can get it. I know they keep on having the concerns on the defensive line, but I believe Malik Collins. Nobody's been talking about him this year. He's been quiet. Nobody's really been screaming him crazy. He's a guy that I feel like is going to be a huge difference maker, especially if he's healthy this whole year.
Yep. Corby kind of beat me to it. Said Anthony Brown. I've said it. I think he's going to be a number 1 corner by the end of this year. He's going to be one of those elite corners in the NFL, I'm hoping. And I think it's going to be a breakout year for him. And Jalen Smith, I think Jalen Smith's about to break out this year too. As long as he's healthy, if he's healthy and he plays, he's going to break out as a freak. But if he's healthy and he plays, he's going to break out as one of the best middle linebackers.
Be mad at me. I know you Cowboys people are going to be mad at
pessimistic,
me.
Big game, James.
I'm pessimistic with the Jalen Smith. I love it. I love it. I just posted a thing. On my page with the 20 questions with Jalen Smith and what's the reasonable expectations for Jalen Smith. These guys are seeing him all the time. Okay, so I can wish one thing, but these guys are seeing him, and I'm sure if I saw him, I could right there tell you if he could play.
You got about a week,
but
a week and a half.
We have a week. We're going to see, but. Brian Broaddus, number 1, said he didn't want them to draft Jalen Smith because of that issue. And Dave Hellman says, I'm taking a wait-and-see approach because, as I said before.
That's the only approach you can take.
But listen, have you played sports where you've taped your ankle?
Yes.
Okay, and when you have a sprained ankle.
I know what you're going to say. Every time I tape my ankle up like that, spat it up like that, it's hard for me to move my foot. And it looks like exactly the same way it looked like he was doing in training camp.
Why did they tape your foot like that so it doesn't move?
Pretty much.
Right? But you have less constriction, right?
But they would do that for anything. It doesn't matter if it's drop foot or not.
But let me ask, is it less constricting when you have that ankle taped like that?
Yes, it's not allow as much movement.
Exactly. So we've seen how badly
in minicamp where they don't want anything to happen.
They're going to do it again. You think they're not going to wrap that ankle like that foot like that?
You don't see Zeke spatting up his ankles every week before he gets out there?
Have you seen
they're not going to do that every week. Man, it's minicamp. They don't want anything to happen in minicamp.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
You're good. You are pessimistic, big game.
Because
James
I'm living in reality, man. It's a nerve in the knee.
I know.
And
the dude's out there running around. I mean, I can see it right here.
They're saying he could possibly only be a 2-down linebacker right now.
If you listening, help!
But get this
I'm
man.
not giving my hopes up on Jalen. Yeah, because
but don't be so down.
I'm not being down. I'm being real. People say you're being down. You're being real.
Because he had too much tape on his ankle?
Yeah, his foot. Yes, it's not his ankle. It's his foot, and the tape is wrapped like 7 times around his foot.
Because it's minicamp, and they're trying to keep everything.
Well, let me see. Like I said, I want the best. I want this, but I'm living in reality with this. I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, Jalen Smith is going to be our Week 1 starter in the middle." And that's just not a reality when I'm seeing and hearing on Channel 5 point the fan. When I'm listening to Brian Broaddus, when I'm seeing what they're saying, and then I'm going to see it from my eyes because, we're going to be broadcasting.
We're going to find out real soon.
We're going to find out. That's all I'm saying. So I can't say he's going to be a breakout player when I don't even know he may be a two-down linebacker.
And I literally said if he's healthy, he's going to be a breakout player.
We'll see.
And if he's healthy, he's going to be a breakout player. He's going to be one of the premier middle linebackers.
Right.
So, but Anthony Brown is my pick.
Okay.
He is going to be a breakout player. He is going to be number one. A number one shutdown corner.
I don't know if he might be a number one shutdown corner, but I believe he's a number one corner.
I think he's going to be an elite corner. At the end of this year, he's going to be looked at, and there's going to be those few names. Because you got to think, the wave's kind of changing with those players. It's not the Richard Shermans anymore. It's not Revis. It's not, there's got to be a new wave of players to come through. It's going to be somebody's name you don't know. I think this kid, like I said, what I saw last year for a rookie with the speed he's got, I think he's going to be one of the best corners we've had for a long time.
Well, we need one because we haven't had a good corner in a very, very long time.
I hope so.
There's only really two lockdown corners to me in our history, and that's been Everson Walls and that's been Deion Sanders. And Deion Sanders didn't play with us as long as Everson Walls did. Right. But those are the only lockdown corners I've ever seen with the Cowboys.
I feel after watching Morris Claiborne, or watching Anthony Brown, it's what I was hoping Morris Claiborne was going to be after we drafted him so high. That was the potential I wanted to see in the first 2 years, and that's why
until the injury.
I'm kind of excited now. So it's like Morris who? I got a new one I'm geeking over. And a new one.
Oh, so defensive breakout player. We talked about that. Best training camp position battle to watch. To me, and I was on DallasCowboys.com, but I've checked a few things. A lot of people were saying, even the higher up in scouts, and I feel it too, is the secondary. Well, that's the biggest, to me, the biggest battle. Not the only battle because you got the defensive line.
Yeah, you got defensive line
for sure. You got the offensive position with the guard. But everybody wants to see that secondary.
What about player battle, though? Like players,
well, Awuzie.
Competition for a spot.
Awuzie being the starting corner over Nolan Carroll. That's going to be a battle. Lando Scandrick.
I'm going to say the safety
Jordan
spot.
Lewis.
The safety spot. The slot corner spot.
I think Jeff Heath and Byron Jones are going to lock down those spots, but I just want to see what Woods does in these pads. If Xavier Woods comes in there and really shows improve, that's going to be something really exciting to see. Yep. But I feel like we're going to go. People need to understand. We're going to go through the fire. We're going to go through bumps. We're going against Brandon Marshall, freaking Odell Beckham, Sterling. Then the next game you got Demaryius Thomas. You still got Emmanuel Sanders. We're going against top offenses. So there's going to be growing pains as rookies. But that's one of the reasons why I don't know why so many people want to get rid of Scandrick. Because we need Scandrick.
For me,
he's an attitude guy.
For me, Scandrick's not an outside corner. And that's just my personal opinion on it, and I'm allowed to have it because I have my own show. So I think he's a great slot corner. I don't want to see him on the outside. If he's on the team, I don't want to see him on the outside. I don't think that's where he's best suited. I think he's one of the best slot corners in the league. I don't think he's one of the best outside cover corners.
Well, I think that's why they brought in Nolan Carroll because they were probably feeling that same way.
Oh, and Nolan Carroll's garbage.
I know he's garbage.
I would take Orlando on the outside over Nolan Carroll.
That's why they brought him, and then they drafted Awuzie because I'm sure they want Awuzie taking that outside spot with Brown, Scandrick in your slot, and then you have Jordan Lewis in the slot as well. And don't forget about Marquez White, but I think Marquez White is an outside corner as well, more than an inside because he doesn't have that foot speed. To me, he's a long corner.
I just go back to the Giants. You can watch Scandrick get burned by Beckham on a straight 9 route, dude. He's toast. And it's just kind of he doesn't let that happen in the slot. He moves better in the slot. He's just not
I like Scandrick
outside corner. I think he's one of the best slot corners in the league.
And Scandrick has an attitude. To me, I like Scandrick. I
like him on my team.
He's always brought us an attitude. No matter what. When Scandrick got hurt in 2015, that we lost the edge to me because Scandrick just gives us an edge to me in that back end.
He's a good player.
He's just an edgy player. He's always had that chip. He's just always been edgy, and I believe he's not going to just give his job away to these young boys. It's going to make him even better. And 2 years removed from an Achilles injury, that's when they say you're usually back. Even though he's 30, he still has that type of game to where he can make it another 3, maybe 4 years.
And I think in the slot, he can make a living there. And that's where he has shown, however the proper English is on that, for the past, couple years when he's been healthy. It was usually in the slot where he was thriving. So, like I said, I like him there, but I don't don't want him on the outside. I don't want Nolan Carroll there either. So for me,
hey,
that makes the cornerback position battle probably the most interesting to me.
So you have Awuzie. Let's say you got week 1 starting Awuzie. You know you're going to have Brandon Marshall on the outside week 1. You know Brandon Marshall's going to be outside. They're probably going to throw Sterling in the slot. Odell's probably going to be in the slot too, but they probably might put Sterling on the outside and put Odell in the slot too, just because you know he can do that. So that's where you're going to see Scandrick. But Awuzie can really match up because he has size, but he's going to be going against a veteran. And we talked before, and I said before, Awuzie still has to get better with his tackling because he does tackle high. He does give you very small windows to complete passes on him. I don't feel like he's a guy that's going to get a big interception ratio with him, but he is a guy that you have to make very small windows with him.
It's going to be a lot of moving parts, I think, early in the season until they figure out exactly where everybody's home
is interesting.
Exactly.
It's going to be interesting.
Everybody can play every position.
Yeah, he will go after those rookies.
And hopefully we have enough pressure coming from the defensive line. You know, we haven't even talked. This happens every week.
Hey, and
we don't even talk about Taco.
And we just talked about we have what?
We have Bo Schembechler's son in here, Shimmy. We were talking to him a minute ago, and he just said you got to put Taco on the left end. You know, he's got a little bit of Michigan roots. You know, just a little bit. But he said put him on the left end. Watch the tape against Ohio State. Ouch, hurts a little bit, but that's exactly what I told you. Go watch that. That's where he thrived on that. Put a lot of pressure there.
And even in minicamp, they were saying he was looking better on the left side. He's
getting him there. That's
we talked about with DeMarcus Lawrence. He had his best season on the left side. If you're going to be on the right side, you need to be elite. That's just my feeling. You have to be an elite guy because you're dealing with the best left tackle.
That big, that nasty.
You have to be that elite player.
Rottweiler on the outside. And I don't think necessarily. I don't think Taco's that yet. I don't know. But he's going to be a good end.
I'm just tired of really people being down on him like he's not going to be able. Just give him some time.
The best thing for me
is give him
some
time.
If this is happening like on everybody else's if nobody else is talking about him, to me that's kind of a good thing because they're not saying anything bad or good. It just means he's kind of going out and practicing, getting better. You hear a couple things here and there. He's getting beat by Tyron Smith. He's getting beat by Lyle Collins.
It's Tyron freaking Smith.
It's Lyle Collins. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
He's not going against some bum left and right tackles where he can
put him against the practice squad, and you'll be like, oh, he looks like an all-star.
Right, exactly.
You know, put him in the summer league, and you're like, oh, he's averaging a triple-double. Right. You know, it's going to look great.
Exactly.
So,
hey, but let me give my big guy a shout-out again. Mr. Don Smith
Concrete. We're going to give Don Smith Concrete.
Don Smith's a concrete out. If he's watching, he's listening. Shout out to you, Big Don Concrete, for the best doggone concrete services in Texas, where it all is possible. Is Don Smith Concrete. The Texas Concrete Contractor scored a whopping 109 from BuildZone.com in a recent poll of over 222,000 Texas contractors, placing Don Smith Concrete in the top 95%. So, if you need that good concrete patio drop, I did a little concrete work. Let me say, if you do good concrete work, it's amazing. It makes your whole place look good. So, holler at Don Smith Concrete. .com. Best concrete in Texas, man.
That's the best concrete paving in Texas.
Yeah.
So you guys know, some of you are down there in Dallas Fort Worth area. Give him a shout. Yeah. Don Smith, not to be confused with the Ron Smith of Silver&Blue Nation fame.
Yes,
he's in there watching too. But Don Smith.
Mitch Daniel asks, "Is Daryl Washington still out there?" Yes, he is.
He will be.
I don't know. I got an updated lineup. So Damian Wilson. So if he gets suspended, let's say if Damian Wilson gets suspended, let's say Jalen Smith is not ready. We're gonna have to move Hitchens back to the middle. Or I know they're not gonna put Sean Lee there. I think they really want to keep Sean Lee. At the wheel. They're gonna move Hitchens in the middle. Left side, strong side would only have to be like Kyle Wilber or like Mark Njoska. But as I said before, we haven't seen anything. We had Latuile, but he's more of a middle linebacker. You can slide out Hitchens if Latuile has to have a phenomenal camp if he's taking the middle over Jalen Smith. But that's only if he's healthy. The only thing we're looking at with Smith is he healthy? Can he make them plays healthy? So we're going to see. But if he's not, that's why I say, why don't you go after a guy like this? I mean, I get it. Okay, but we still need depth, and I don't feel great about Kyle Wilber and Martin Njoska because Martin Njoska is always hurt.
I know you don't care about him. You can't even say his name, so you don't. We don't need him starting. We don't need him starting.
I mean,
I don't know. I kind of agree with Tavares there. I'd be more nervous if Taco was beating Lyle and Tyron Smith. Like exactly, I'd be very worried.
I'd be feeling good though. I'd be like, whoa, I'm super excited.
I'd be kind of like, man, that nobody's beaten Tyron Smith. I mean,
Tyron Smith has been.
I know, but he doesn't get beat consistently.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And it's not happening in practice over and over again.
He has got to be though.
What's your bold prediction?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. You think that's bold?
I mean, it is bold. You know why?
You think that's bold?
I think it's bold. You know why I think it's bold?
Are you saying we're winning the Super Bowl? Or are you saying
yes,
we're going?
winning the Super Bowl this year is a bold prediction.
That is okay. That is a bold prediction.
Us winning the Super Bowl this year is a bold prediction for me because nobody, and I mean nobody, thinks we're going to win the Super Bowl this year except us.
Ice Cube thinks we're going to go play.
He thinks we're going to go play, but nobody. You can tell me any of these guys think the Cowboys are really going to go to the Super Bowl and win it?
Other than people like us that are sitting here in these colors, and other than people that are in here that know, other than people that know that we're going to win this,
yeah, nobody else is. So that's a bold prediction.
But you want to know why I think that's a good thing? Because every time they pick us,
we lose.
So
it's been known.
Keep our names out your mouth, commentators. Let us win our games.
So let us win our games. What's your bold prediction?
Lyle Collins will be a Pro Bowler, right tackle.
This year. Okay.
This year.
I would say a bold prediction would be him being an All-Pro.
I had actually.
Now, how about that one?
He'll be a Pro Bowl right tackle, possibly an All-Pro.
My bold prediction is Ryan Switzer leads the team in catches.
Whoa! What of that?
That's crazy.
Okay, I didn't have enough hot sauce on my bold there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Woo. You can tell who likes to live on the edge in this world. It's not me.
I mean, it's definitely possible. You saw what Cole Beasley did last season. I think Ryan Switzer's even better, and I think that chemistry is already there from what we've seen in some practices.
I mean,
it's very, very bold, but that's why we call it bold.
He said bold prediction. That's why I didn't bring enough sauce, man.
Ryan Switzer leads the team in catches next season.
I'm a All-Pro then. I got to at least say All-Pro. Yeah. Well done, G. I like that. I can see that being possible though. Like he made a good point there. Switz has got potential to be everything we need. So we'll see.
Hey, so what's your favorite all-time Cowboys moment?
Mine?
Yeah, you told me.
I know. There's so many of them. They're all pretty much all of them. Anything Emmett. I love me some Emmett.
Yeah, I love
Emmett. Getting the rushing record at home against Seattle. But I mean, come on, man. It's got to be September 24th, 2000. One of the worst losses we took in 42-24, 41. Got blasted.
By the Niners.
T.O.
Yeah, the worst team to lose.
He's standing on the star.
Does the star.
Emmett scores like a minute later. He rips his helmet off and runs back to the star.
Slams that ball
down.
Slam that ball down. He had to look.
Ooh.
He had to look, too, like he was pissed. Like he had the I'm pissed look. When he slammed that ball, it made me just feel good. And then when George Teague blasted T.O. for the second time.
That's my favorite moment right there. When T.O. goes back out on that store.
And he blasts him.
And
I'm had more people jump him.
I'm sitting at home going.
More people jump him.
I was trying to jump through my TV to get him. I
wanted to get out there and fight him too.
That's how I knew.
That's what pissed me off when we signed him.
That's how I knew if I cut this open, it was going to be silver and blue if I cut it. Because I wanted to fight. I was
beat. Yeah, I was ready to fight
George Teague.
And I felt some kind of way. It took a long time for me to get over T.O. when he signed with us because I'll never forget him doing that. I'll never forget that.
When you hear the sound from that clip, when you hear George Teague hit him and then you hear the crowd go nuts, that's what it's all about, man. I love it. Yeah. That was my favorite.
Yeah, so that's one of very good all time.
That's mine, man.
My all time. I was telling you about the one game where the Cowboys were playing the Atlanta Falcons, 1979. When we came back, I think Roger Staubach got knocked out of the game. I think Danny White was playing. He threw a touchdown to Drew Pearson. I remember when I was 7 years old because I was just remember screaming up and down. But one of my favorite moments is when Emmitt Smith, we were trying to win the division. We went into New York Giants Stadium. Emmitt Smith separates the shoulder. I was watching that game.
I was
watching that game. It was cold.
Anything Emmitt counts, man.
It was cold that game. And when he broke through that line, it was almost like I seen him break through the line, and when I seen him get tackled, it's like I instantly knew, man, he hurt. He hurt. And when he got up and he was doing this, I was like, man, was I thinking just, is he out this game? But now the Super Bowl. I'm thinking the Super Bowl now. Is he going to miss the Super Bowl? Is he going to be out the rest of the season? Because that looks like a separated shoulder. The way he's holding that shoulder, that separated shoulder. And for me to see him come back, and number one, I'm tired of all you people. There's been some people on the page talking about, Emmitt was just a suspect back. He just had his line. Don't you say that about that, because Emmitt Smith did it on every level. Yes, he may not have been supremely talented, maybe athletically, but his hips and feet were like no other. And he did it on the Florida high school level, setting national records. He went to the University of Florida freshman year, day one starter, setting records. over 100 yards every freaking game, consecutive games. That was Emmitt Smith doing that. Then he goes to the Dallas Cowboys and is the all-time leading rusher. It wasn't just the offensive line. Yes, the offensive line was huge. Stop saying that. But when you come out and separate your freaking shoulder in the cold,
and you still out there hitting people in the line,
and the Giants know you're hurt. They know it's separated, and they're smacking you.
We both played football. You get tackled, it's hard to avoid your shoulders. Hitting somebody, leading with your shoulder, going to the ground, reaching up, taking a hand off just to raise.
Raising your shoulder.
Just raising to take a hand off.
And that is separated. And you're playing, and you are getting hit in the cold, and they are blasting you. They know it. He said he felt like it was just, he heard it cracking every time. And for you to finish that game, not just finish the game, you didn't get 60 yards in that game. You didn't get 70, 80. You got over 100 yards, and we took the win.
That was one of the original, I know you remember the put the team on his back, dude.
Yeah.
From Madden.
Yeah.
That's what Emmitt did in that game.
I mean, he put the team on his back.
So
I don't want to hear about no average back. When he
168 yards that day.
On his back with the separated shoulder, you're going to say that was the offensive line, man?
229 total yards, 78 yards after the injury, and it wasn't just separated.
78 yards. And remember when they kept giving him the ball.
Yep. And
they were feeding him the ball on drives.
And they're calling it a severely separated shoulder.
Yes, severely.
Severely. Not just severely. Yeah, that's a great moment too, man. I remember that. I was probably 8 years old. That was probably like the 5 seconds.
I've seen that rating on him.
Harold talks about when Jason Witten had his helmet ripped off against the Eagles. That was a pretty big moment.
That was huge. That was huge.
That for me,
that's iconic.
That made me respect Witten from here. I already respected Witten. But when the helmet came off, it was like, boom, here.
One, it's against the Eagles.
Yes, in their house.
But like you said, it's not my favorite all time moment. But it's like one of the most memorable, one of the most iconic. There's that picture of him just standing over top of everybody. That's just it's a very, very iconic image.
Hell yeah. And listen what Mitch Daniels says. His favorite moment was Aikman to Ismail in that overtime game. When he threw the long pass on the first play of overtime
was that
to
99?
Ismail. I believe so. In Washington, and we won the game.
I think it was 99 season, yeah.
Yes. That was epic to me because I remember watching that game. I was over my ex-wife's house. We were watching. Well, I was actually watching the game by myself, and I remember watching. We were going back and forth, and you know how the big ballyhoo was rocking a good fit for us. Was he really going to do anything? And that was just a game where, for one game, Rocket Ismail, I liked you. That's it. That's the only time I liked Rocket Ismail when he caught that long pass. Other than that, I ain't really feel Rocket Ismail.
Trey said, "How about when Emmitt slammed the ball in the star, took his helmet off,
yeah,
goosebumps? Like, yes, I know, that's my moment, man. Right now, it just the crowd went nuts on that, man. That's when you heard.
For me, it's when Emmitt broke the record. You mentioned that one earlier, and then the Brad Sham call when he says, "Move over, sweetness, make way for Emmitt." You know,
yeah, that call
gives me chills every time I see or hear that.
Over, I remember sitting at home when Emmitt retired before he went to the Cardinals, and I just remember sitting there watching the press conference, and I was just like, that's the end of the era. You know, that was a rough day with that. That was a pretty memorable moment too, but that's not my favorite, man.
Yes, Alex Wisely, Silver and Blue Nation, appreciate you tuning in. It's a new thing right here for Cowboys fans.
Well,
we're just getting started.
It's not a troll.
Silver and Blue Nation. Well, no, he's probably just trolling because he's going to say there's only one nation.
He's
and
wondering.
It's their nation.
He's like, Silver and Blue Nation. This is hot. He's like, who's this? Silver and Blue Nation.
No, he's like Silver and Blue Nation.
Yep, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes, Daniel Salinas, I believe. Romo to Austin was another huge. I posted that on the page actually, and that got tremendous. When I posted that on the page went nuts. They loved that Miles. That game was sweet.
The Romo Niners rib game.
That's on the page.
And I told you the only reason that was not up there.
Check it out, Big Game James. Check it out. I got them videos, man.
The only one only reason that's not up that high for me is because I had a lot of money riding on Jesse Holley having to score a touchdown right there. I lost that 5-way parlay because he kicked a field goal. I lost about. I don't even say. Gambling's illegal. Kids, don't do it.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people have a lot of good Cowboys moments. So let's make that the question for tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern
call in
time
and give us
EB Sports Network.
Check us out on the EB Sports Network. 6:30.
That'll be the question tonight to call in with. What's your favorite Cowboys moment?
Your favorite
talk about that.
moment.
Angel Rodriguez, go to Big Game James. I got that video.
It's
where Roy
there, too.
It's there, too. Roy Williams. See, I got all them Cowboys moments that you're almost all talking about. They're on the page, man. They're on the page, man. Go to Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation. Go to the page. I got them videos, man. I'm a football junkie, man. I'm on the football all day. 27,000 years. Just on it. You understand? So, Roy Williams, get that, McNabb, because McNabb always talked that trash against us. And I loved it.
You know what makes me laugh is when Eagles fans say Romo was a choker.
5 straight championships.
And he choked on his own puke on a game-winning drive.
You're tired in the Super Bowl, bro.
You puked on you choked on your own puke.
Your receiver says, you're in the huddle tired. I can't breathe.
He threw up.
He
threw up in the huddle from being so tired.
And he always talked that trash about us. Donovan McNabb, he's a Cowboy hater for life. Listen to him on his interviews on NFL Network. He is always talking trash about us. He is a Cowboy hater. Cowboy hater, but that's okay.
It's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
Fine.
So it don't matter. We still got you. And you know what? You got no rings.
We go on lunch break. Is that where everybody up? I think we're going to wrap it up here. Make sure y'all check us out at 6:30 on EB Sports Network. Please do. We're going to be there. Check out some of their other content. Two Jocks and a Sniffer, Marty Bannister, all that good stuff.
And we got our special
guest. But check
us
out.
Yeah, but we got our special guest.
Because
Anthony
Schlegel.
And he's a Ohio State guy, so I know you're going to love
Ohio State guy. I think he did some stuff
Zeke.
with the I don't know if was he a trainer with the Cowboys or was it just
he's a strength conditioning coach for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So, and he's
we'll let him tell us.
Interaction with Zeke. He's got some little foundations going on. So at the end of the day, it's football, and he's going to be talking Cowboys football anyway, because if he ain't, he's going to have to go.
He got to go.
But
you know what? We got to go.
We're about to talk to y'all in a little bit. Make sure you tune in to us at 6:30 to 8:30 on EB Sports Network, silverandbluenation.com. Not .com, but Silver&Blue Nation.
Well, you can go to silverandbluenation.com. We got that. We got YouTube. We got Twitter. We got Facebook.
Instagram. We
got Instagram. Yeah, you see it. I mean, obviously we got Facebook. You're watching us.
10,000. We appreciate y'all.
10,000. Let's go for 100,000.
100,000.
I know 10,000 of y'all got 10,000 friends or something.
Tell them to hit that like button, man. Hey, if we're inviting you, hit that like button, man. And follow us, too. Silver and Blue Nation. We're going to talk to y'all. 6:30. Peace. Big Game James.
JK.
Producer G.
We'll talk to you in a minute. We love y'all. Peace.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!